Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds. Blasting all over this.
Oh, you blast it.
I'm blasting, man. Just blasting.
Things are getting spooky. Things are starting to get spooky around here.
It's beginning to look a lot like spooky.
We need more spookies on our schedule, and I'm glad we got this spooky.
A little light on the spookies.
I'm glad we're blasting the spooky.
Blast this ectoplasm.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
My name is David Bell.
My name is Tom Ryman.
And we just watched VHS Beyond.
Beyond!
That's aliens.
Some of it is aliens.
Some of it. Aliens-ish.
Everything that we thought we knew is called into question. Maybe we're not alone. Maybe our company does not wish us well.
Mulder would watch this, though, and he would think it was real.
Yes.
He would show this to Scully.
He has. These are in his X-Files filing cabinet.
Yeah.
He brings these to parties with him. What do you say to that?
This is the...
Sixth?
Okay,
Seventh?
This doesn't make any sense. I was just reading. This is listed as the 7th installment and 9th overall in the VHS franchise. I don't know what that means.
9th overall? Okay, so wait. There's 1, 2, viral, 94?
Yeah. And then 80-something.
85, 99, and then this one.
All right, there's VHS, VHS 2, VHS Viral, VHS 94, VHS 99, VHS 85, and this one.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, I think they're counting spin-off films, but they shouldn't, because neither of those films have been made. I'm looking at.
Well, Kids vs. Aliens is a spin-off.
It is. Did that come out?
It did, yeah. I watched it, actually.
Oh, was that any good?
It's all right. It's
cool.
Yeah, it's similar.
I guess Siren also came out. Okay.
Oh yeah, it did. I guess. Yeah, it's similar to Hobo with a Shotgun. Anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I know we've definitely ranked these before, and it's fun to try to rank them, especially when there's so many, and I can't fucking remember them.
I forget which vignettes.
Right, because you remember the vignettes more than you remember the movies.
It's easier for the more recent ones since they've been so heavily themed.
Yes.
Like 94, 99, and 85, I can pretty well parse.
What's the one with Ratma?
That's 94.
I watched that after this last night, and
that one's great.
Yeah,
I love
that
94.
Might be my favorite.
I think it's the best in terms of how strong each vignette is.
The fucking the militia one.
The vampire militia one is
so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to say because it's like, okay, are we rating them by how scary they are? That's a different conversation. How much fun they are. It's honestly, for me, it's more about rating the actual independent vignettes.
Shorts. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll say that one of my favorite ones of all time is in this one. So I guess we'll go through them all because, like you said, it's alien-ish. It is the big names, I guess, for this one is obviously Kate Siegel and Mike Flanagan.
Mm-hmm.
And the Justin Long one.
Yeah, Justin Long and his brother wrote and directed one.
Which was basically him being like, remember Tusk?
Remember Tusk? Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
We sure do.
Yeah, so I guess, do you want to just go through each one?
Yeah, well,
So-
I think up top, let's say how we felt about how we
yeah.
liked the movie.
I liked it.
Yeah, I was surprised how good it was. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, because I liked 94 and 99, and I liked 85, although I thought 99 and 85 were a little, they were a little shaky in some of the vignettes. But
85
this one,
I thought was a little shaky.
yeah. This one I was surprised at how good all of the vignettes are. Actually, I think the Justin Long one is my least favorite.
Yeah, and it's still fun.
And it's still
But,
pretty
like,
good, yeah.
That's the thing, is like judging the quality is sort of just like asking yourself, did it have, how many good vignettes did it have versus how many? And like there's been a few where it's like, I don't know how these get made, but it feels like there's always a few where they're like, we've had this idea for a while, do you want to bang it out?
Just trying to
And,
fit
like,
it in, yeah.
Yeah. And so I generally liked this. It did have like some ones that I was like meh on. And then there's one that I thought was particularly amazing. A couple.
Oh, I do want to call something else out as the framing stories.
Yes, this is different.
Yeah, I really liked the way they did this one. I think my favorite overall is 85 because that one's amazing. But
What's the 85 framing
the
story?
85 one is them monitoring that being. That's kind of
yes, that
Yeah.
was amazing. You're right.
But I mentioned that VHS 94 is like probably my favorite one overall, but the framing story in that one is really weak. That's all the cops going into that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's the thing, is like 85, I didn't like the individual vignettes that much in that. I liked some of the concepts, like the sniper. That's the one with the sniper. And I was like, that's a scary fucking idea. When they're all in the boat and they're getting sniped at.
Right.
But generally, I think the framing device for that was my favorite. This one, I liked the framing device. I liked that they didn't, this is weird, they don't link it. Meaning that in most of the VHSs, the plot line is
Tied
here's
into
someone
showing
watching.
the videos, yeah.
Yes. This one is not tied in. It's just a tied in theme, which is we're watching a documentary about a series of tapes that someone filmed at their house as proof of aliens. Ultimately, the documentary, it felt like it didn't go like I guess we start there. It's about how an anonymous Redditor found these two tapes on the flea market, labeled Proof 1 and Proof 2, about this guy who lives in this house, this family that immigrated there, in this Victorian house that they think may be haunted. And then the guy filmed himself at night because he was having night terrors. And then ultimately we see the film and it's just like an alien is creepy, and then it puts a camera in his throat.
Puts a camera down his throat. Yeah, I liked that. I liked that payoff.
Oh, it wasn't terrible.
And the
It just wasn't like,
looked pretty freaky.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very vibes to me, where it was like, and that's a lot of VHS ones, is like, you know, a lot of the times, like obviously the fucking.
I think. Oh, sorry to interrupt you. I think a lot of found footage is vibes.
I was gonna say, Tima's are all vibes, and the vibes are amazing.
Yeah.
And so like it definitely lives and dies by that. And like the first one in this is a good example of that.
Yeah.
And that's Stork.
This one is I liked this one. This one is nuts.
This was all fun.
Yeah.
It was basically cops go into a house and they are
Attacked by moon zombies.
yeah, they're attacked by moon zombies that are led by what appears to be a giant stork alien who is taking babies.
Yeah, it's pecking people's brains out and then
Making them
burning
zombies,
them
yeah.
to the babies who are themselves growing little bird beaks.
Yeah, I thought it was a very good example of simple storytelling. What I mean by that is like they go in and you don't really know who these guys are. You get the sense that one of them is personally connected, and then they say like his kid was one of them or something like that.
Yeah, you
So
see it
you
in the
know,
beginning that he tears his own kid's picture off the bulletin board and kind of makes a big
Right.
yeah.
And they're all drinking, and so you get the idea of like this is not an official.
This is not an
police-
official thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that it's a great storytelling because you're like, I got it. And they go into this house and like, yeah, you get the weird zombies and they are very weird and zombie like. And then they find a room where a meteor has crashed and you're like, okay, got it. Like Alien making zombies, it hatched out of the meteor. And you hear the twinkle, twinkle, little star of this thing singing to the babies, and then they find it and they kill it. There's more to it. There's chainsaw.
There's a lot of chainsaw. There's a chainsaw cam. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, which I don't feel like was motivated.
Not really. I'm not sure why it was there.
Because
I guess because he's holding it at his chest. Yeah. No, I meant why the shot was at chainsaw level. I guess because it was his body cam.
Well, what's weird is that I could have sworn they get attacked by the chainsaw, and I could have sworn you see chainsaw shots when they're being attacked. So it's like the Boogan had it.
Maybe he did. Maybe he put a GoPro on his chainsaw.
It doesn't matter ultimately. Like, this is probably one of the ones that plays the most fast and loose, I would say. With the footage.
This one is just pure fun.
Yeah, it's a good opener.
And the reveal is that they're a monster squad. They're like stars from Resident Evil.
Yes.
Well, I mean, the reveal is that it's a stork alien, but the subsequent reveal is that they knew they were there to kill a stork alien. They specifically came there to murder this monster and drag it out and photograph it. It's just what they do.
Which is cool. Yeah.
Which
fun. Is it's a weird twist because they're like personally connected to it too. And they seem genuinely like they're drinking and they're like pumping. So it's like, I don't know if I needed that, only because it was like, if they're a monster squad, they'd be more like by the book. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You think it'd be more official.
Yeah. But again, like you said, it's all fun.
Yeah,
this is all outside.
This is a fun and games one.
The next one's all fun. This was one of my favorites.
Which one's next?
This is Dream Girl.
Oh,
this is
man.
India.
This one is wow. I liked this one a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. This one is fucking all fun too. I really like the order they went in. The paparazzi and there's a Bollywood actress named Tara, and they got to go get her or get a shot of her, and they watch her do a take. And this did a really cool idea, which is that because it's found footage, technically everything's game, including the very nice camera in the room.
Yes.
Because it's a film set. So you see the take, and then you later see through that film camera when shit goes down.
Yeah, it's a music video that they're shooting because she's like a superstar.
Yes. And she's shooting, well, it's Bollywood, so they're shooting, like the musical sequence, right?
Oh, I thought it was, I thought she was an actress and singer. And anyway, they're filming. They're filming.
Yeah. It's a song about how she's like a goddess.
Right.
And she's that fire inside of her. And you sort of know where it's like, I knew that it's like, okay.
Well, they mention they slide a little bit of, it's kind of Nightcrawler at the beginning, right? Yeah. There's like, they rumor she practices witchcraft, but there's a main guy and like this younger dude that he's sort of recruited. It feels very Nightcrawler in the beginning.
It does. Yeah, because they seem kind of scummy, and he's like,
well, the main guy seems spiteful. Scummy, and he's spiteful about her success. He's like, because he's a struggling actor too, and he's like, I should be more famous than her because I've had training and blah blah blah. And this younger guy really is clearly in over his head.
Yeah. And it's just not going to work out for them.
No,
I didn't know the nature, and I this is what I like is this is where VHS really shines, as they started learning, because I think what it is that what the anthology series allows them to do is go like, I have a vague monster idea. And it's like, what is it? It's like, we don't really have to explain it because that's not what you do in these. You give people enough context that they go like, okay, I more or less get what this is. I can sort of
connect what this is, yeah.
And you don't have to write a full movie, and so it doesn't have to be sustainable either. It can just be this quick massacre.
There's also there's more room to surprise because there's less rules. Like in this one, you knew kind of the direction it was going to go in because the whole theme is sci-fi.
Yeah.
So you're like, well, I know kind of in what sort of general direction it's going to go in, but
yeah.
But yeah, in general, like the VHS series is really good about you don't know what direction something is going to go in necessarily.
No. Yeah, like again, like you're like, okay, I bet.
Well, this is going to
these
go
people are
wrong.
gonna fucking
somehow.
die. Yeah.
It's going to go bad, but
Yeah. And so they sneak into the set. They sneak into her trailer, and they overhear the manager like yelling at her and like it seems like he's kind of possessive of her, the way you would be an actress and a manager, where it's like a toxic relationship.
there's a nice little hint before this is because they go to take a break, right? And the reason he's yelling at her is because she messes up a dance take, and it's because they're at the end of the take, and she just keeps doing the dance motion over and over and over again, even though the other actors have stopped and the music has stopped. She's still just doing it.
Yeah.
So like, oh, she needs a break. She's been working too hard. So they're sort of hinting at where this is going.
Yeah. The manager.
She's a robot. She's a robot.
She's a robot, a demonic robot.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not quite sure what this manager did, but boy, did he
Built her,
fuck
I
things
guess.
up.
He
Yeah.
really fucked it up. Yeah.
Yeah, he finds a face in the closet, which I like because he also just like dismisses it, kind of.
A face
But
in gel. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
you
he
might
gets-
if you like broke into like Taylor Swift's
Yeah,
trailer
it's
and saw a face in
prosthetics
gel,
or-
you're like, it's probably some sort of facial treatment. I don't know. This is a goop thing. This is
Yeah,
clearly
exactly.
a goop thing.
Yeah. And so he gets caught basically, and he tells her like, you shouldn't be pushed around by that guy, like you're the one. Everybody wants to be you. You're in charge. And she says something along. First she says, you want a selfie, which she says later again, which is delightful. And then she says something about how she likes him, and she's like, I think I'll take your face.
She says, I like your face.
Yes, I'll take it.
Yeah, maybe I'll just wear yours for a while.
Yeah, and so then she becomes a fucking robot demon, and you don't see her clearly at first, and I really liked that, where it's like just this like warped face and like sparks coming off of her.
Yeah.
And she just murders everybody in a delightful sequence.
Yeah, pretty
Where
violently.
Yeah, I liked when she was like hurling lightning at people.
Yeah.
And it's like these flashes, these quick like freeze frames of it like cutting through everybody.
That
and
was
you
pretty sweet. Yeah, that was pretty dope.
Yeah. It's really well shot.
This was
like
a cool one.
Yeah, like this director, I don't see anything they've done. And I'm like, man, let me double check. They've done a little bit, but I'm like, this is one where I was like, if I was a producer and I saw this sequence, I'd be like, oh, I need to give this director a job.
It's pretty it's pretty slick, yeah.
Yeah.
The lightning was a real cool idea.
Yeah, and it's like it's pretty creepy, and like not knowing like they eventually show her more up close. And she's sort of zombie like, her face is like melting flesh.
Yeah, it's gnarly.
Yeah.
But also like a hell robot.
It's like, yeah, it's demonic. Like it's some sort of demon robot. Like he made a deal with the robot devil in Futurama.
Now he wants his hands back.
Yeah, and she tears his face off and gets his face.
Of course
so
she
good
does.
for
Yeah,
her.
we knew that was going to happen. She also
It's a real-
rips his arms off.
Yeah.
Really
Well, you
punishes
gotta-
this guy.
Yeah, if you want the face, you don't want him to... She probably learned through trial and error, like, just get these arms off. It makes it easier.
Get those arms right out of here. Don't
It's a
need
real-
those.
It's the it's the siren of it all, where I'm just like, all right, good for her, I guess.
What kind of monster is this lady going to turn into?
Yeah.
It's in of itself its own genre.
Yeah, and I like that it ends with her walking into a bunch of journalists and paparazzi
Yeah.
and just murdering them all. The next one is Live and Let Dive. Good name. I think this is conceptually really good.
Yeah, I liked a lot of this one, but this actually, I don't know. This was sort of mid-tier for me.
It's hard because I think they're all kind of bangers in the sense that this is a very strong
Yeah.
sequence of them.
Yeah, conceptually and technically. I'll just articulate what I just didn't like the aliens in it that much.
That's what I was going to say. The aliens were too much like... I know they tee up the reticulan aliens, the fucking greys. But they're like more like they're like fucked up greys, you know?
No, they look like the Quiet Place monsters, and it's I
Yeah,
want to see little green men with ray guns at one point.
Yeah, I was going to say. No, you're right. That's kind of what I wanted too, is more of just the gray alien.
We've seen so much of like these aliens that have like these impossible technologies and slick as hell spacecrafts, but they're just like dumbass monsters.
Yeah.
It's so like weird. It's a weird
trope.
trap that these movies have fallen in for the past like decade. Like every alien has they all kind of look vaguely like the Cloverfield Quiet Place monsters, and like in the Tomorrow War, where they have spaceships, but also they're just like space raptors.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I agree with that. It's the, I don't know. It's definitely the frustrating part about this, which is like, because the basic concept is awesome. By the way, this director did a bit in Southbound, which I love, and it says he did a bit in VHS 1, but I'm not seeing what. Maybe he was just worked on it.
Part of the crew,
yeah. It's the one that we knew was like from the trailer of this. Basically, a group of skydivers have a collision with a UFO.
Mm-hmm.
And the UFO and I think the UFO crashes. It's hard to tell, but the plane definitely crashed. I guess the UFO doesn't.
They see it go down. I think that part's awesome.
Yes.
I guess that's also why I said it's kind of mid for me, because the opening chunk of it, like when they're in the plane and then the UFO hits them and it's falling out of the plane, that stuff is all freaking awesome. It's really impressive.
It really takes advantage of one of the fundamental things that make found footage good, which is that you can really show chaos in this really compelling way. So it's like all
I've
these
never
people
seen a plane crash like this.
Yeah. And so like, no, yeah. And so at first they see like the UFO and they're like, oh my God. And then fighter jets like zoom under them and they realize like, okay, we're in the middle of something. We need to leave. And then the pilots crash. They look out the cockpit and you see them smash into it. Not before I think an alien arm slaps on the side. So it's like, there's clearly like there's a dogfight happening. And I like the premise of like, Independence Day, the movie is playing out and they're caught in it. It's like, it's very Cloverfield, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're going for is like, what if Independence Day, but Cloverfield? They crash into it and they're falling and you see these, like he looks over and sees someone falling and their leg is gone and you see the trail of blood. And the guy that he's tandem attached to isn't responding and he can't pull the thing and it's chaotic as hell. And he finally pulls it. And am I correct in like he has resistance, pulls it and it like still has resistance and finally the parachute pops. And when he lands, are we to believe that it popped off his friend's head?
I think so. I couldn't quite piece that together either. I wasn't sure if the parachute ripped his head off or if it caught in trees when they were, because his head gets pulled off because it's wrapped in the parachute line.
Yeah, I think we're to believe that the parachute line went around his head.
Yeah.
And then he pulled it and it yanked off his friend's head, which I bet probably could happen. With it's
maybe
a lot of wind resistance.
A lot of force, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, it'd probably kill you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it'll do something.
It'll do something.
And then after he's landed, also, you see like someone else screaming to the thudding to the ground.
Smash into the ground, yeah.
And then airplane pieces. And then they're in this orange grove. And then this is where it starts like tap dancing a little bit because it's just like run over to this friend, run over to that friend. Oh, no, aliens. And then he finds his, I believe, girlfriend without her face.
Mm-hmm. Sure does.
And this is where I'm like, this is where it's like, yeah, I wish what the aliens were doing was more creative.
Yeah, because it had also come off like we just saw the robot lady cut off a guy's face. So it's like, oh, these aliens are also just peeling people's faces off for some reason. We're not sure why.
Right, where it's like,
I don't need to know why. It's just we had just seen it, and then I don't know.
Where they're just again vicious monster aliens, and it's like
just kind of aimlessly. I don't know. It's like I don't know it. This is the part of it where it sort of loses me. The Orange Grove is a cool idea, and it's still shot really cool and all that.
But this also is where it lost me because they're also very CGI.
Yeah,
and that we see a lot of them. And I I almost wish there was like they had a cloak on, or they again were more scary because they're just animals. They're just monsters.
Yeah.
And I liked when he get in the truck. And I liked the bit where he accidentally shoots the farmer shoots his hand off.
Blows his hand off, and he can't work the put the car in gear because he
Yeah.
only has half a hand.
And then he gets close encountered.
Yeah.
He gets the truck gets abducted, and then he's in space. And I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it. The plane crash was so cool. Like that. This.
I like the beginning and end. Like
Yeah,
you
the
fall from the
beginning and
sky,
end are
and then
rad,
you're
yeah.
sucked back
and
into
they come
the
right
sky.
back up. Yeah, and they have
Yeah.
it. They. I mean, it's on the nose, but also not that. I mean, anyway, it's acceptable. But they do call out up top that this guy specifically is afraid of heights. That's why they took him to go skydiving.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
funny
mean.
that it begins with him falling and then ends with him going all the way back up.
Yeah. I loved that. And like, yeah, again, it's a decent. It's more
It
just
is
like
good.
the director is good. It's a really well shot sequence. But like you, I was sort of, and I think this is sort of a problem with all of these, is that like, especially since they literally reference communion and they talk about the gray aliens right before this, where I was like, all right, let's get some gray alien shit. And we never really do in this whole series. And that feels like an oversight where it's like, why are all the aliens represented by boogans?
And they're all gargoyles.
Yeah. And
Or a
it's
big
like-
stork.
Yeah, or a big
A
stork.
big meteorite stork.
And I'm not against that a little bit, but I was like, this could have been the chance to have, like the Signs aliens, something. And now we're about to take a fucking left turn because next is Fur Babies.
Gosh. This is the Justin Long one.
It's not a bad idea. It's just also felt, again, it's not, it feels like Justin Long was like, I want to do one. And they're like, we're doing an alien theme. And he's like, well, I'm not. And they're like, all right.
I guess
Yeah.
you're not. It's just Tusk,
It's Tusk, but dogs.
but dogs.
I liked the woman in this. Who plays, the idea is it's the Becky running this doggy daycare, and these like activists show up because she has taxidermy dogs, which
They're-
felt thin to me. 'Cause,
Yeah, but-
like it's sort of like they're like, who's this freak with the dogs? And then she explains like, yeah, they're my dead dogs.
Well, I mean,
stuff 'em.
it's obvious that's what they are. It's
Yeah.
these characters, the activist characters, are presented to us as like dipshit, like
Yes.
performative. So like, could you
Yes.
these maimed dog corpses? And then one of them says, "That old lady," and then one of them says, "Ageism, come on."
Right.
So it's clear they're supposed to be, dipshits.
Yeah, like performatively woke dipshits.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just felt like it was sort of like it's one where it's like, I don't really like these people, so they're just gonna get punished. And
But yeah.
but again, the lady sort of is the thing that makes me like enjoy this because she's doing this tone of being like the moment you meet her, she's not hiding it where you're like, well, she's killing people or something.
Right. It's like Kathy Bates in Misery.
Yeah. Real Kathy Bates energy. And I thought they were going to do Get Out with dogs. Because when she says the one dog's not on the mantle and she's like, oh, that's my prized one. I have something special for him. I just assumed because then you see her brother and maybe it's implied, but I was just like, oh, she's putting dogs' brains and humans. Because she also talks about how she gives them human names.
That's right.
But-
yeah.
Yeah. So I thought it was going to be Get Out with dogs, but it's sort of the opposite, where she is
It's Tusk with dogs.
it's Tusk with dogs. Basically, she kidnaps them and is just surgically making them dogs and then brainwashing them into being dogs. I liked the button on this, which is just the
Guy
the
stealing
Amazon
packages.
guys. Yeah. Just getting mauled by this monster dog human
Yeah.
is a very
This
funny idea.
maniac in a mangled dog corpse.
Yeah. I like that this lady, you get the feeling of like, the candle that burns twice as bright. Like she's going to have a showdown with the FBI pretty soon.
Shortly, yeah.
Yeah.
She has a lot of missing people in her basement.
She has a Ring camera that she's proudly using. And I'm like, yeah, you're going to get... Some Ring employee is going to be like, hey, I think I need to call someone.
A lot of people are coming into this house and never coming back out.
Yeah.
Also, I believe that's a man in a dog suit killing another man.
But yeah,
It's fine.
I think what it is, it's fine, but it's also like, it is the Tusk of it all where I was just like, come on, Justin Long.
Yeah.
Like you were in Tusk. We know you know Tusk. It felt like he just wanted to do Tusk again, but for dogs. And that's it. That's really it.
It's really it.
If you haven't seen Tusk, this would probably be more of a thing, but I would argue Tusk really did this premise.
Oh yeah.
And we don't need to do it again.
As good as it could be done, I think.
Yeah. But that brings us to the final one. And this is Stowaway. To me, did you like this one?
This is one of the best of all of the movies, in my opinion.
So, like, Kate Siegel directed the shit out of this to start. But like the concept, which I assume was Mike Flanagan, he wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
It just really shows how Mike Flanagan is such like a Stephen King, and what I mean is like he's a great director, but I think his true strength is as a writer. Yeah, because he can't help, even in a short, to do something that's conceptually chilling and means like it was bigger than the others in terms of story to me.
Yeah. It's he has a way of looking at like every conceivable side of an idea, I think, and then presenting it in a way that you just didn't think of. Yes.
This to me was like where it ends. You realize like that is a horrifying ending. I didn't think that's where this was going. So it's a lady in the desert. And so she's at like, Area 51 type area.
Basically,
and she's looking for lights in the sky. And as she's documenting it, we get like the idea that there's something stealing animals. And she's very matter of fact. I loved, because this is the little things where it's like her character, and this is probably the directing, is like you instantly kind of know what kind of person she is, even if you haven't met her. She's very matter of fact. She's trying to be very like official and trying to be informative.
Yeah, because the very first shot is it's her pointing the camera at herself and going through this scripted thing, and she messes up several times, but she'll just stop and then kind of repeat it to herself and then pick it up just from a few words before she messed up. So it's like this real... Yeah, exactly. We get a good idea of her character just from that initial scene that she's in.
Yeah, and then we see when it cuts, when she checks footage, we see that it's a child's birthday party she's recorded over.
Mm-hmm.
And so she sees that too and seems to be like mad at herself about it, implying that that's, I assume, her kid.
Yeah, she says, I'm sure so-and-so will use this as evidence that I'm a terrible mother. Yeah.
So you get this idea that, okay, she's probably divorced or something's...
But then she says there'll be other birthdays.
Yes. And so I assume like she has custody of the kid or she has partial custody.
Seems like partial.
But she's in a bad relationship or divorced and has a kid with that person. And you see right away that she's been accused of being like neglectful, like she's often obsessed with this idea.
At the very least has been a absent mother. Like it seems like the implication she doesn't have a great relationship with the kid.
She's absent and she's torturing herself over it. This is where it's like, I can't, Mike Flanagan, all you had to do is like do an evil stork. Yeah. And he's making Hill House in fucking 20 minutes where he's like, how can I make like a full story here?
Going so far out to find something that was right in front of you.
Yep. It's
womp,
incredible.
Womp.
I can't fucking believe how good Mike Flanagan is. I can't believe how, and I am, I guess, a Mike Flanagan fanboy at this point, where I'm like, he's just never done anything wrong. And so she also mentions, and I think this is key, that she does the science of like, suppose they came from this galaxy.
Yeah, the relativity, yeah.
About how much time would have passed on Earth, millions of years, while it's only like 2 years of a travel at light speed.
Well,
she's pointing out basically that even at light speed, it would still take years and years for the ship to get to here. and then millions of years would pass because of the relativity, right? That's the two pieces of information.
It's all because she's talking about also like I guess the improbability of it, and also like why she says it's why nerds get so excited about wormholes. But she starts with I guess Proxima Centauri. I think that's the closest one. Right. She starts with that and says, okay, if you left at the speed of light there, it would still take you, I forget, like a couple of weeks. I think she said.
She said years. I think she says years.
And then it was like 25 years on Earth or something like that.
Right.
Or like, no, it was 4 years on Earth. It was like 2 weeks from Proxima Centauri.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. It was
like
weeks and
4 years to Earth. And then she's like, if you go to the next star closest, Andromeda, let's say, that's just a little bit more distant, it would take you a couple of years at going at the speed of light. And she says, she also gets into the inertial dampening of it all.
Yeah.
If you had technology that wouldn't destroy your ship or you upon starting or stopping at light speed, that becomes important later. She says it'll take you a couple of years from Andromeda, but on Earth, it's millions of years have passed.
Yeah.
That's the second closest star.
Yeah. And that's assuming they go light speed.
Yes.
And so it's good flavor text in this where you're not really like I was sort of like, okay, this is obviously going to be important to some extent, but I was thinking they were going to do an idea where like I don't know about
like
you, but at this point, where they were going to do a thing where it's like, okay, she's going to miss because she says there'll be other birthdays. So I'm like, oh no, there won't. Right? They won't be other birthdays.
Well, you're right about that.
Yeah. And so like I thought it was going to be something where she ages and the world is 1,000,000 years older and it's like some other fucked up
Planet
thing.
of the Apes shit.
Yeah. She finds a ship that's landed. She goes inside of it and she sees there's these like pieces of string that are like the controls, and she plucks one and it cuts her finger and all these nanites come out and they heal her. And so she's like, okay, clearly whatever this alien is has tougher skin than me. She sees all the all the animals being like stowed away.
Yeah, they're all in little compartments.
Yeah. And so she's like, all right, it's coming here to do that. She hides because she hears an alien coming. The alien comes in, starts the ship, and the door closes.
I was saying, I mean, I was, enjoying it. I was vibing the thing. I was into it at this point, but I did keep saying to my TV, because she's like,
get out of the ship.
Or yeah, she finds the spaceship. She's like, all right, I'm going in. And she's just like filming and talking herself through all this stuff. And then when she finally hears the alien I got to go hide. It's like, yes. Did you not consider that an alien would be in this spaceship?
Well, and that's what going back to her character, where I'm like, she's kind of a Jodie Foster in Contact, where she's like clearly obsessed over aliens. So like, I didn't doubt for a second she wouldn't go in.
Right.
Hell, I might go in that situation.
I would definitely think about it.
Yeah, because I think it's that optimism of like, they're not bad. And in fact, we don't really know if the alien is bad. We never see them. Yeah. Which is a really good idea, because the alien being evil in this isn't a factor.
No.
It's more about circumstance. So what's happening is the equivalent of like when someone stows away on a plane and gets like suffocated, right?
Yes.
Like it's that idea. So she's like, because you think if she said to the alien, hey, I'm here, the alien might go like, oh, fuck. No, get out of here.
It might have put her back, or at least put her in anyway.
Yeah.
At least put her in one of those boxes.
Yeah, but the alien, she hides for the alien because you hear it. It's like a clicky little alien.
You can't. Oh, wait, you do see him a little bit. See him a little bit. That's true.
And then it goes into some sort of pod, and she's like, I think it's sleeping for the ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get out of here. The tanks are filling with water, like the individual animal things, like the precautions are getting made for it. And then There's realizes
a clear predator countdown going on the so the string she pulls to operate things on the ship makes sound, so it's kind of like a Close Encounters reference a little bit. I thought that was cool.
That was cool.
I like when you do weird things with aliens, like they wouldn't look or communicate in the same way as
it's not anything we can perceive. Yeah,
right.
There's an initial blast, violent, and she's in the orbit, and we see the Earth. I thought they were going to do a that Nicolas Cage movie. I thought the Earth was going to end, because I was like, oh, it's an arc. I thought it was going to be like that, because I kept trying to think like, what's going to be the horrifying thing here? It's Mike Flanagan, like he's going to bring it.
Well, there's a bit of an escalation, if you recall, before the ship takes off. Is she's noticing the Predator countdown. She's like, fuck, I gotta find the door. So she plucks one of the strings to try to get out, and the nanites come out again to repair her finger, but it's given her a claw.
Oh yeah.
It has given her
and
a
so
claw.
it's like the nanites are sort of imprecise. This really feels like a Stephen King story to me, where it's like, it's perfect hell, because basically what happens is they go into hyperdrive and she goes flying and we see she's greatly injured, and the nanobites are like, well, we're here to help.
Yeah.
And they go to repair her.
The first thing that when they go into orbit, she gets slammed pretty hard, and it looks like she's like broken her arm or something, and she's looking at it and she's like, I guess they did, and she's still trying to continue with her camera. So I think
she's
they did
still fascinated.
Best. I think they did the best they could. And then she's looking at Earth, and you can see like the light speed thing start to happen, and then it goes into light speed, and you see her just fly off and get pulverized.
Well, okay, yeah, you're right. The first time it happens.
Yeah.
And then we get this beautiful sequence, because I want to mention another thing that they did, and this is Kate Siegel.
This is a direction, yeah.
Who again, now I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see what she's gonna do.
Yeah, this whole bit is so like surreal and dreamlike.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, and it's really, really cool.
She does a thing earlier where she's looking at the sky and there's lights, very X-Files, and she turns it into infrared, I believe.
Oh yeah, thermal. That's right. Yeah,
the thermal, and it's this black and white night vision. You see these gorgeous shapes
auras.
around it.
Yeah.
Yep. And what I realized is what makes this really smart, because she turns it on the ship. And what I realized is, like, one of the issues with making a VHS sequence is I don't think they are given a big budget for the effects. So by making it black and white, the effects look gorgeous because you can't tell how crappy they are. You can't tell. Like, it's that thing where it's like they probably didn't have the best CGI budget. And so by switching to the black and white infrared, it makes it both terrifying and more surreal, but also probably hides a lot of effects.
And also, it's another way of getting around the budget, because we're still not seeing anything. We're just seeing auras.
Yes.
When she's looking at it through the heat, the thermal lens or whatever. So it's still not showing us anything.
Smart.
Yeah.
And so when she gets pulverized, we get this shot of the camera, which somehow is survived.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you see, just like, you get that realization where you start seeing like bone
slowly
fragments
being put back together. Yeah. Like you see a bone getting reassembled.
Right. And again, not a big bone. And you're like, oh, fuck. Because the nanites felt like they were just like an aside at first. Like, again, where you're sort of like...
Yeah, I had no idea this was going to become the thing.
Right, because it's such a perfect idea, which is taking like this very basic... It's a very Star Trek... it's a very cracked idea, honestly, where you take one casual thing like the transporter.
Yep.
Yeah, and you go like, well, what if this? What if that? And that's what he's doing, is like, what if your body is pulverized and the nanites don't know to just let you die? And so she gets reassembled.
Not only that, but it seems like it doesn't understand what she is necessarily. It just understands that she's from Earth. So what it's doing is it's taking pieces from all of the animals that it's collected.
Yes.
To put her back together.
And so she's this, and as we see, she saw a spider, and so that comes into play.
Yeah. She's like
so you start seeing this abstract. Yeah. Where it's like these grotesque little shots of her body, and you hear her like this like
gurgling,
gurgling, and she says, "Please no more," because it implies that it happens several times. She gets killed by the hyper.
Every time it goes, it moves. It destroys her. Yeah, because she's not in an inertial dampener.
Right. So what you realize is for the entire, and this is where it ends. Basically, it ends with this shot of like, you can see, because the camera does get more and more broken, and you see like, you can sort of see spider legs and like some sort of mutation and her suffering.
Yeah. At one point, she
grotesque.
Cuts her own throat with her eagle talon, and then you see the nanites immediately come down.
Yes. And so she's being pulverized and put back together worse and worse every time. for potentially years or maybe more as the entire world passes her by, as billions of years pass her by, as her daughter turns into dust.
Yep.
And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yep.
That is horrifying and beautiful and perfect.
Yeah, it's really great.
Fuck me.
What an idea.
And you did it in like 20 minutes. God damn it.
It was so sneaky too. I did, like we were saying, you do not expect the nanites to be the thing.
Right. And it's just so funny because it's just like, I'm imagining the VHS producers watching it and just going like, Jesus, man, we meant like do like a killer robot
like a
or
fun
something.
thing, man.
Yeah.
Like saucer people. What is this?
He went, okay, let's do an actual horror. Let's do some fucking horror. And he did. And it's fucking amazing.
It's like, oh, you're going to get some fucking aliens.
Yeah. I love it. I love that he took it and ran with it. And I'm so jealous where I watch something like this and I'm like, fuck, man, I'm literally writing an Alien script right now. And I'm watching this going like, son of a bitch.
Just throw it away.
Yeah. Like, come on, man. Why are you so good at this? He's so good at it.
Yeah. And the
Holy
directing
shit.
by Kate Siegel was really great as
so
well.
fucking good. What a fucking power team these two are.
The whole last bit is done so well where you really only, like you were saying, you only see the abstract of mostly. It's still pretty horrific, but
yeah,
it just becomes this surreal. It's good. It's like a gorgeous nightmare at the end.
Right. She also co-wrote, by the way, a lot of Mike Flanagan's stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm looking now. I didn't realize she co-wrote fucking Hill House and Bly Manor and Midnight Mass and House of Usher. So it's like, I don't know, for all we know, Mike Flanagan's a fucking idiot and she's just the true puppet master. We don't know.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize she had writing credits on this.
Yeah, I didn't either. But like, God, what a great team.
Yeah, this
like,
is a great vignette.
I hope she gets to direct more stuff. Like, again, Mike Flanagan, good director, don't get me wrong. But honestly, I'm like, she's great. Like, this is gorgeous. Like, the real strength with him is his ability as a writer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was fucking amazing.
Yeah, I really liked this one a lot.
Yeah, one of my favorites. It's hard to have a favorite. Do we want to try to rank these real quick?
Oh, man.
Do you have anything else to say about this one?
No.
Yeah. VHS 1 is really trailing for me.
It's pretty distant in my mind, too. I haven't watched it in so long.
That one is very quaint. That has like that has the siren, I think, is the big one. Has the Ty West one with the honeymoon where she, spoilers, slits his throat, which is a cool one. I
think
the
my ranking probably hadn't changed all that much. I don't know.
Safe Haven is in number 2. That's the cult.
I know that's the cult. The cult one's in 2. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's hard because I'm like, I don't. It had the eyeball, which was interesting.
That
was Adam Wingard.
Yeah.
But I don't love that one.
That one's okay, but it has the zombie GoPro, which is also pretty great.
You're right. Okay, so that's up there. I'd say I can cluster them. I'd say this one, 2, and 94 are all like in the top tier.
That's where
for
I
me.
I think that's where I would put them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, 99 and 85.
I think so too.
Well, because then all that's left is VHS and then VHS
and
Viral, which is hands down
you're right.
the worst. Even though it has a cool segment by
Benson and Moorhead.
Benson and Moorhead, yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing is like these all have great directors, don't get me wrong. Like again, it's about averaging for me because like Viral also has the one with the parallel universe one, which I was like, that's fucking great. You know, like
that is a good one, yeah.
Yeah, it's all sort of averaging them, where like Viral isn't terrible by any stretch.
That
just they make so
first
many of
magician
them.
one.
Yeah, that one honestly, because I'm trying to think about 85 or 99. Is that the one with the No, Ozzy's Dungeon isn't that one.
That's 85 is Ozzy's Dungeon.
No, 99 is.
Is it?
Yeah. No, I'm thinking 85 is the one with the really cool framing device. We actually didn't do a podcast on 85. That was the last one before this one.
Yeah, that was last year.
Yeah, and like I liked the Rory thing, the Rory adventure, the framing device. But honestly, like I'm trying to remember again. We had the sniper. We had the earthquake one, which felt like nothing.
Mexican TV station.
We had the VR one. Remember the VR performance one?
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that one might be my least favorite. Like Viral at least has some like very memorable ones, but this one sort of I don't know. It's kind of blah. It also has the Scott Derrickson one, which he's a great director, but it was kind of just doing
Oh yeah.
Sinister again.
Yeah. Yeah, that one is kind of weak now that I think of it.
It's more that like it's the one that falls out of my memory the quickest. Which is I feel always weird rating them because they're a delight. Like this is probably the best found footage series.
Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah. Like not necessarily the best found footage film, but like this it's such an amazing celebration of horror. It's just so fun and often horrifying.
Yeah, I really
usually
like this
just
series.
Fun though. Yeah. What do you think the next one's going to be?
I don't know.
Ocean. Do ocean. Sharks.
Yeah.
Do like
do oops all
sea
sharks.
monsters. Sea monsters. Do ocean. That would be fun.
Oh yeah, do fishmen.
Yeah. Oh yeah, mermaids. Fuck it. All right, I guess we're done.
Yeah, we're probably all set.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening. If you're interested, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed, GAMEFULLY unemployed. Check that out. We have exclusive podcasts like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and Spiel Boys. We watch movies every Friday night. We have absolutely watched the VHS movies, and we will watch this one at some point.
Definitely at some point.
Probably soon.
We also have a store. Head over to gamefullyunemployed.com. You can find a link to our Teespring store where you have all kinds of cool original artwork and designs you can get on t-shirts, mugs, stickers, posters, all sorts of things. So check that out.
Mm-hmm.
Or not.
Or not.
Do what you want to. Yeah. It's your life. Maybe go inside that spaceship. Maybe don't.
Maybe don't. Maybe don't.
Maybe just take a video of it and leave.
Yeah, maybe just celebrate the W that you have there. Mm-hmm. You have videotape of a spaceship.
Pretty big win.
I think you're all set.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can shove it in the face of your child and be like, I neglected you for a reason.
Yeah, this is why I don't love you.
Exactly. I do not want to become a spider person.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll understand. They'll be like, Mommy doesn't love me, but she got a fucking video of an alien ship. And that at least cancels itself out, right?
It's true, yeah.
Yeah.
She sacrificed my love for the good of humanity.
Exactly.
Who wouldn't make that trade?
Yeah.
Any parent would, Dave.
Yeah, they probably got some money out of it. She got a sick pool or something.
Yeah, you probably get at least a little pool out of it. At least an above ground pool.
How did we find that tape? That just occurred to me.
I don't. I mean, you pointed out that the framing device, the framing story, doesn't attempt to explain why we're watching any of these tapes. Yeah. It's its own thing.
Just realize that tape did the alien find that tape and put in his VCR?
How did we get the skydivers tape?
Yeah,
same thing. He ends his journey inside a spaceship too.
They mailed the tapes later. Did the aliens find the stuff and go like, that belongs to Earth? Send it back to Earth.
Throw it all out. Theirs. Throw it all out.
Yeah.
They just fucking warped back to Earth to put them up in a yard sale.
Here's your shit.
They don't just throw it out of the saucer. They took the trouble to go put it in a flea market.
Yep. I am imagining that alien coming out of Warp Drive, being like yawning and coming out and going like, oh no. Oh, I'm not going to tell anybody about this. Oh, fuck, I'm getting fired. Yeah. I'm going to eject you into space.
You just see him pushing a giant trash bag out of the... nothing. Just taking out the recycling.
Oh, God. I'm changed forever. All right. Hey, listen, our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can find him on twitter.com as the Corlew, or go to shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our channel artwork is produced by Michael Vincent Bramley. For more of his work, go to mvbramley.art. Our episode artwork is by Justin Brown, available on Twitter as Justin T. Brown or at Artness by JustinBrown.com. And finally, additional artwork is by Starlene Hodge. You can find her work at StarleneArts.com or on Twitter as StarleneX. Cool. Goodbye.